Hello, and welcome to the OpSynergy project management channel, where we help professionals and organizations deliver results through better leadership, strategy, and execution. In this video, we're going to talk about the #1 mistake project managers often make, and trust me, it's not the kind of mistake you'll find in a textbook. It's one that creeps in quietly, even with the best intentions. Most new project managers focus on tools, templates, and checklists. They're told that if you master Microsoft Project or learn how to use Monday.com or Smartsheet, you'll be set up for success. But that's not what makes or breaks a project. The #1 mistake I see new project managers make is this: they start planning before they start aligning. They build out schedules, tasks, dependencies, and milestones, but they never take time to align their stakeholders on what success actually looks like. And that single mistake, starting with the plan instead of the people, can quietly derail even the best managed project. I've been doing this for over 15 years across government contracts, corporate initiatives, and nonprofit programs, and I can tell you this pattern shows up everywhere. When a project kicks off, there's excitement, there's momentum, there's that sense of let's get to work, and the project manager, often under pressure to deliver, or dives right into planning. The Gantt chart fills up, dependencies get mapped, and there's this satisfying feeling that things are under control. But a few weeks later, reality checks in. Suddenly, you're getting mixed messages from stakeholders. One department says the project is off track, another insists it's fine. Leadership asks for updates that don't match what's actually happening on the ground. And all of this chaos can be traced back to one simple issue: misalignment. It's not that you didn't plan well. It's that you didn't make sure everyone was planning for the same outcome. Let me give you a simple example. A few years ago, I was leading a federal property management project. The mission seemed clear: streamline asset reporting for multiple warehouses. We had a budget, a timeline, and a defined scope. It looked straightforward. But within a few weeks, I realized that the warehouse managers, the finance team, and the compliance division each had completely different definitions of streamline. For the warehouse managers, streamline meant faster inventory entry point. For finance, it meant improved audit readiness. For compliance, it meant full digital traceability of every asset. If we had charged ahead with just one of those interpretations, the project would have technically been on schedule, but a total failure in everyone else's eyes. That's what happens when project managers skip alignment. You can have perfect execution of the wrong objective. So, what should you do differently? Before you build your plan, before you assign a single task, start by holding what I call alignment conversations. These aren't meetings to talk about milestones or budgets yet. These are meetings to ask the right questions. Start with: what does success look like to you? What would failure look like? What are you most concerned about as this project begins? Those 3 questions sound simple, but they're powerful. They expose assumptions, they uncover hidden agendas, and they help you see the project through the eyes of your stakeholders. Now, some project managers worry that this slows things down, but I can tell you, this 1 or 2 hours at the beginning of a project will save you months of wasted effort later. Here's another example. On a technology modernization project I led, the engineering team was focused on hitting aggressive technical milestones. They wanted to deliver early and prove value. Leadership, however, cared far less about speed and far more about stability. They didn't want another flashy rollout that crashed after go-live. So we adjusted the strategy. Instead of pushing for a fast MVP release, we built in testing gates and user feedback loops. It added 2 weeks to the schedule, but we delivered something that didn't just work, it stayed working. And that's the difference alignment makes. It turns a reactive project into a proactive one. Alignment also builds trust. Stakeholders stop seeing you as just a task manager and start seeing you as a partner, someone who listens, who understands their priorities, and who's invested in outcomes, not just outputs. When you're aligned early, you also gain leverage, because when conflicts inevitably come up, and they always do, you can go back to those early conversations and say, "Remember when we agreed that success meant X? That becomes your anchor point for decision-making. Now let's talk about how to do alignment effectively. Start with one-on-one conversations before the kickoff meeting. Group meetings are great for visibility, but individuals speak more openly one-on-one. When you talk with each stakeholder, listen for patterns. If 3 people say timely delivery and one person says quality above all, you found a potential conflict before it ever surfaces. Document those conversations. I like to summarize them in a one-page stakeholder alignment summary. It's not fancy, just a list of names, what each person values most, and what concerns they raised. Then, bring that summary into your kickoff meeting. Present it visually. Here's what success means to each of you, and here's how we're going to deliver on all of those dimensions. That single slide builds credibility instantly. Stakeholders see that you've listened, that you understand their perspectives, and that the project plan reflects their input. Another key part of alignment is clarifying decision-making authority. One of the worst surprises in a project is finding out that the person approving your deliverables isn't actually the one with final say. So define it early. Who's the final approver? Who just provides input? And who's responsible for communication? Use a simple RACI chart. Responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. It's one of the most underrated tools for alignment. And don't be afraid to confirm authority in writing. It's not about being bureaucratic, it's about protecting the project. Now let's expand on another aspect, communication alignment. Even when stakeholders agree on objectives, projects fall apart when communication breaks down. Think about how many times you've heard this phrase, "I thought someone else was handling that," or "I didn't know that changed." As project managers, we have to build intentional communication systems. That means setting expectations up front for how updates will be shared. Weekly summaries, monthly reports, a dashboard, status calls. Every stakeholder has a different appetite for information. Some want the 10,000-foot view. Others want line-by-line updates. Your job is to tailor communication so everyone gets what they need without overloading anyone. Here's a practical technique I use. After your kickoff meeting, send a short survey asking, "How often do you want updates?" And what's the best way to receive them? Email, dashboard, or meetings? You'd be surprised how many issues that one survey can prevent. Now, alignment doesn't mean everyone gets their way. You're still the project manager. Your role is to balance competing priorities and guide the group toward a common definition of success. That's leadership. Project management isn't about control. It's about clarity. And when you lead with clarity, everything else, risk, budget, schedule, becomes manageable. Let's talk about results. When you build alignment early, you'll reduce rework by over 30%, you'll shorten decision cycles, and your project reviews will go from defensive to collaborative. People stop pointing fingers because they all see themselves in the success story. One of my favorite quotes comes from Stephen Covey. "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." That's the mindset of an exceptional project manager. So, before you dive into your next project, slow down. Have those conversations, map the perspectives, get clear on what success truly means. Because tools can't fix confusion, templates can't create alignment. But a good project manager, one who leads with curiosity and communication, can transform chaos into coordination. I'll leave you with this thought. Great project managers don't just manage work, Hey, manage understanding. Thanks for watching. I'm Christopher from OpSynergy, where we help leaders and teams deliver results through disciplined project management and professional growth. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next one, where we'll break down how to manage scope creep before it manages you.